everyone, and welcome to today's episode of M&A Empow'her'ment. Today, we have Jennifer Fondreve. She is a human capital advisor, and I am super excited to have her here. I've already listened to some of her webcasts and read some of her articles, so I'm super excited to have her here today to chat with all of you. So Jennifer, if you'd like to take a second to introduce yourself and describe your role in the M&A process.
You bet. Thank you for having me, Kelsey. So, my role in the M&A process. Well, I should first start by saying I'm here completely accidentally. I was supposed to be ambassador to France. That's what I went to graduate school for. My father, who's French, still hopes that I'll try for that. My role actually came through because of experiencing three multi-billion-dollar M&A deals. I was on the receiving end as a corporate executive and saw I would say the low-hanging fruit, what could be done better, the emotions that people go through, the loss of identity, and how that can impact and unfortunately undermine the success of the deal. And so by the third multi-billion-dollar M&A deal I had experienced, my first thought was to write a book. It was going to be a survivor's handbook, but over the course of interviewing and doing research for it and interviewing executives, I essentially made that book more of a handbook for leadership and launched my consultancy, Day One Ready.
Awesome. Excellent. And if you could tell us a little bit about a recent professional success to kind of give our audience, a more kind of in touch gaze of what you do in your day to day.
Well, interestingly, the success came through speaking with other women in mergers and acquisitions. I wrote an article in Forbes back in April or June and have had the opportunity to present that article. It was about the secret weapon that women have in mergers and acquisitions. And I highlighted the 5 superpowers that women possess when it comes to M&A deal success. And I've been invited by multiple women's groups to essentially facilitate a conversation around that, right? And so the superpowers were around the intuition that women bring to an M&A deal, the fact that their guts can see beyond just the numbers to identify potential challenges or opportunities, the fact that people tend to open up to women more than they do other men, which is invaluable in an M&A deal scenarios. In fact, I had a lot of women say, "Why did you write that? That was like my secret weapon that I didn't want other people to know," right? The people opened up to them. I also identified the fact that women have a tendency to simplify communication so that more people understand what the vision is, what the expectation is. They simplify it through the communications, and they also anticipate challenges. And this is not to say that men don't have these. It's just simply that women can bring these skill sets just by the nature of what women bring to the deal. And so that intuition can help them anticipate challenges and identify solutions for those challenges so that the deal team and the leadership are prepared depending on what happens. As you and I both know, Kelsey, M&A is filled with unexpected surprises. And so having that ability to anticipate, we need to think about this, we need to be prepared for that. The men that I interviewed for that article said it's been invaluable to have women on our teams because they just anticipate things that we aren't even thinking about, and they know how to communicate stuff in a way that doesn't scare people. And so I would say the success of that, it's been a surprise to me. Certainly I'm proud of all the successes I've had in my M&A consulting. But being the catalyst for that conversation and having more women really engage and saying we need to talk about this more and role model this behavior to show that it is valuable to deal success.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I completely agree in that it's, being a woman at the table is a completely different viewpoint than others. But I also like what you're saying, and that, it's not to say that men aren't capable of these things or that they're not even aware of these things, because that's not true either. I mean, we're able to have these successes as we
Right.
work collaboratively with men and with each other to really hone in on, bringing the best of all worlds to the table. I mean, everybody, we're going to have the best successes in M&A if we're all using our strengths, to better service our clients and overall. So I love that.
Obviously in the article I quoted more women than men because it was about female superpowers, but the number of men when I spoke to them said, I'm so thankful that we've had women on our deal teams because I've seen a different leadership style that can be equally powerful.
Hmm.
It's less ego driven. And this is actually coming from guys, right? It's less ego driven and it's more about what's required for the success of the deal. And one guy in particular shared, he said, I was just so thankful because he said, I think if it had just been guys, we probably would have been there till midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning, right? The lady who was running this deal was all about like, okay, let's get this done. Let's focus. Here's what we need to do so that people could actually get home. And he said, I just so appreciated that as a new dad. So I love that part of the story. I feel like there's a part two, what men say they benefit from in having women really lean into these skills.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm waiting. I'll wait for part two. Awesome. So, and I think we've kind of talked a little bit about this. It seems like honing in on these strengths and really utilizing that to be successful in our world, in the M&A world, is probably some of the advice that you would give to other women. But on top of that, I guess, what other advice would you have, maybe to women that are currently in the field, or, women that are looking to get into our wonderful world of M&A? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I think, and this actually comes from how many younger women have either reached out to me since the article or have been on the discussions around it. Uh, and these are my words, not theirs, but there's definitely a feeling of suffering this alone, right? They weren't sure, oh, maybe it's just me that feels this way, right? Like, is intuition, is that going to be seen as too not rooted in data? Not will it not be appreciated by my male colleagues? And so the overwhelming response has been, I'm thankful that we're having these conversations because it's making me realize that I'm not alone. And so I really encourage younger women to not hesitate to reach out to other women, whether other women your age or senior to you, when you may have like I've just got a sense, or someone's opened up to me and has shared with me some perspective. I think it could be valuable, but I'm not sure if that's going to be seen in the right way. Um, it's just been phenomenal to me how many women have said it's given me, I feel like I've been given permission to talk about this and not feel like I'm alone in how I'm thinking about this. That I don't have to be just like the guys, that there's value in the skill set that I have. And so, Kelsey, that would be one thing that, again, I feel privileged that simply because the article and the conversations, women have been reaching out to me on that, I guess I would say on that challenge, or what they thought was a challenge that they're now seeing as an opportunity.
Hmm. I like that, kind of like the reframing of it and looking at it in a different perspective for them. So that's great. And it's great to, have people like you that are the catalyst to this. Cause I mean, that really is how we're making a difference and allowing there to be more space for M&A, for women in M&A. So I think, it's such a powerful tool. And plus just, the forums for networking and, all of those kinds of things to go along with it. So I think it's great what you're doing. But anyways, yeah, I think that'll do it for today. So Jennifer, it was so great to have you. And again, this is Jennifer Fondreve, Human Capital Advisor. Please connect with her on LinkedIn, read her articles. We'll be together upcoming at the KO Conference Series in October in Boston. So we would both look forward to meeting you there. And again, thank you so much, Jennifer. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for making a forum for these kinds of conversations.
Absolutely.